Okay, YouTube, we have a special event video. I went up to Fair and Forge Knife Works this evening, and I hung out with Chris and Elliot, and it was, my wife is in Japan, so I didn't have any time constraints. She took the daughter, and they went for the summer. My in-laws, they're pretty wealthy. They pay for their tickets and stuff. So we got to talking about a bunch of stuff, and I said, I really want to sharpen one of the stingers when they come in. I'm like, I'm eventually going to sharpen one of Elliot's stingers. And Elliot looked at me and he said, well, would you like to sharpen mine? Now, I like Chris and Elliot. They're amazing guys. They're some of the kindest guys, nicest guys you'd ever want to meet. And Elliot gave me his personal Fair and Forge. Let's get this here where you can see it. This is his personal Fair and Forge Knife Works SM100 Stinger. This is his. It's in the box. And when he opened it, I recognized the scales. Now, if you remember, I did a video and I said that Chris, when we came up the first time, anodized a set of scales to show my daughter how it worked. The exact same knife. It is the same handles. I remember it exactly because I was like, dude, you just took basically a $600 knife and just used it as an example to show my daughter. Let me get that light issue taken care of. So, you're not going to... I was up there tonight and I told them specifically, you're not going to be able to see this in the video. You're not. There's no way you're going to see. But if you look at that pocket clip. Look at it. It's amazing. I'm going to sharpen this for Elliot because I said I wanted to sharpen as an SM100 blade, and he gave me his personal SM100 Stinger because I'm not going to find one. So with that being said, there's going to be a video about this because I've never sharpened SM100, and it's going to be, I'm pretty sure there's a learning curve. They had a learning curve when they anodized it, when they ground it, when they heat treated it. There's no one in the world that knows more about this steel than Elliot, except maybe like 2 or 3 people at NASA, because those are the folks that had developed it. So we're going to put this back in its case, but I'm going to talk to you about something else. So I went up there. It wasn't so much that I went up to Fair and Forge Knife Works specifically to get this. I wanted to go up. I hadn't seen the guys in a while, and they're awesome. They're awesome guys. But we're going to have to walk around and figure out what I did with it. I had stripped the pivot in my NTAC. And when I stripped the pivot, I wasn't 100% sure, but yes, I had, in fact, stripped one of the screws in my blade stop. And I've done something with my knife because I broke my adherents because they work right next to a brewery. And I drank more beer than I intended to. There it is. So I went up and I told Chris, I was like, hey, Chris, I showed up and Elliot wasn't in the shop. And I was like, where's Elliot? He was like, oh, he's next door. He's the acting manager at the Helm Brewery because apparently they pretty much have an open tab that they get for free. And so Elliot will act as the manager to pay off the tab. What an awesome deal, right? So I told Chris, I was like, hey, talk to Elliot. I stripped my pivot. I know I'm an idiot. What happened was I had a guy that I was trying to show how to flatten his edge pro stones. And it comes with a glass plate and a bag of sand. And I managed to get a piece of the sand grit down inside the pivot, and I couldn't get it out. So I didn't take the knife all the way apart. I just loosened everything enough to give me some space to blow out that pivot. And when I tighten it down, I'm not going to lie, I have very strong hands. And I stripped the pivot, and I stripped one of the screws in the lock bar. They're in the blade stop. So I went, and I told Chris, and he took my knife completely apart. He cleaned it up, put brand new bearings in it, put brand new screws in it, re-anodize the scales, and you're not going to see it. You're not going to be able to see it. I will take some pictures and see if I can figure out a way to do it and put it in, but, I've been drinking which lately has been uncommon. So all the areas where I had worn the anodizing, he did a bronze accent. And I'm like, dude, all I needed was a new... He's like, no, that's cool. And I'm talking to him about other stuff. And I'm watching him put my knife together. And then I see him grab a pivot. And I'm like, I don't think that's the one that came out. And he put a faceted pivot. So right now, I have the only Fair & Forge intact that's going to look like this. This is mine. And every one different than this. Every one of the other 100 is going to be different than mine. And doesn't have that pivot. Look at that. That's hot. That's some hot shit. I'm sorry. Mine's the only one that's going to look like this. It's got... Oh God, I wish you could see the bronze in this. I will try to take some pictures and put them in, but I don't think it's going to work. So on top of the fact that they did this, I showed up, talked to Chris. He did it while I was talking to him. He was doing some other stuff. They're doing some unique stuff. I'm not going to throw it out there, but it has to do with some Damascus steel. You'll see it on their... You will see it on their Instagram and their webpage. So keep your eyes open. It's going to be fucking awesome. And then, as I'm drinking with Elliot and talking to him, and he gave me this. He's trusting me with his personal to try and sharpen. We're going to see how this works out. So there's going to be another video. But I just basically want you guys to understand how amazing these guys are. They're amazing. They're awesome. I took my friend up there with me tonight, and they... Very accommodating. They'll open their shop to anyone. I took a couple videos of Chris bluing some Damascus steel. I'm not going to put it on. I'm not going to put it on my YouTube channel until after they get done with what they're doing. It wouldn't be right. But all the things you hear about how nice these guys are, it's true. They're awesome. And, you know, some people, oh, it's because you took your daughter. No. My daughter's in Japan. They were like this when I went up by myself. So I'm going to try and get this knife sharpened tomorrow. I'm not going to do it in an inebriated state because it's a one of a kind. If this is the only one of these that exists, there's not another one of these. If it was like this, where there was maybe 20 or 30 others in that color scheme and all that. No, this is the only one of these that exists. And I have been trusted to sharpen it just because I wanted to sharpen SM100 because I've never done it. So, wow. The fact that just set in, I'm like, if I screw this up, there isn't one more of these. Wish I hadn't thought about that so hard. Yep. I'm going to cut it now and revisit this when I haven't been drinking. YouTube, you have a good evening. If you're watching this, my daughter Isabel, I miss you and I love you so very much. Enjoy your trip. You guys take it easy and I'll talk to you later.